Okay, good morning. This is the second update, quick update, just to let you know what's going on. On Tuesday, January 14th, the first update was 3 days ago, or 2 days ago on the 11th, when I mentioned that the puddle that dealt with the Polyflex SAP, there was a situation with a crack in the barrier, and I fixed it with epoxy on the same day basically, and let it dry through Sunday the 12th. And then again at that point on Sunday the 12th and the first half a day of the 13th, there was no water in any of the puddles or any of the barriers. So I waited till everything dried, in particular the epoxy for this puddle here. I don't know why I'm calling them puddles, but they're not. Sometimes they're not puddles. They're basically barriers, okay? So this barrier is fixed at this point. I applied the water again last night, or actually in the afternoon, early evening on Monday. Okay, so that's when I started putting water into these barriers to make puddles again. It was yesterday. Now this morning I added more water so that it will take the place of the evaporated water. So this morning you can see how the water, actually I got better light today, so it'll be more clear. You can see how much water is in it for each puddle. You can just notice better. Okay, you can see it's just about up to the top. So basically my idea was to, just to recap, was to place enough water on a constant basis so that if there is any chance of water seepage, you would be more likely to see it, because there's a constant puddle of water. In real life scenario on a roof, I guess this water would have dried much earlier than a whole week or so of the puddle being present, as in this case or this scenario. So I'm stopping on this this sample because this is the sample that I had just repaired a couple of days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, and this was the section here that I applied more epoxy. And so you see that there's no more water seepage, and it was also on this side too. There was another crack. This is the past evidence of some water where the grain is a little bit more noticeable because of the water. But you can see it has dried since then. There has been no more water coming out of the barrier. So now we're all good to go and to continue the experiment. So here is that Polyflex, which was the peel and stick. Okay, I'm not going to lift it up anymore so that the barrier won't break again. And here is the Polyflex G nailed down, or basically torched down as well, but it's nailed down in this case. Here's the water. Here is the sample sent by the roofer, and thank you Right Way Roofing, Lori, for this. Here's the water within it, which is nailed down. Okay, same exact one as the sample sent from Poly Glass, same exact product. And finally, this is the Polyflex G again, but I torched it down with matches. Okay, so there's no nail here, but you can see I was able to learn how to torch it down, so it's pretty good. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to continue keeping the puddles alive, in a sense, by keeping the water going or applied consistently so that it would not dry out. I want to not dry out. I want to bring your attention again to the Poly Stick TU Plus, which is a peel and stick, and I use 2 plies, as you can see. The water is in the puddle, but it's basically right from the start. I put the water in this morning, filled it up about an hour ago, and you can see that the water seeped past the barrier, which means nothing. It's just that the water is able to saturate the very top section of this membrane, but it looks like it does not go below or into the thickness of that same top membrane and get to the bottom layer of the beginning of the next membrane. You can see it's dry. Okay, so here is the water. You can see the water seepage here from the top layer beyond the barrier, but here there's no water coming through the top ply. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you saw that clearly. I know I explained it before, but I just wanted to make sure everybody understands what's going on. So again, if you want to take a look, let's look on the bottom and see what the nails look like. Everything is dry. From where the nail protrudes the, let's call it the deck, underneath each sample. And you don't see any signs of water seepage. But I will be going into the 3rd phase of this experiment. I'm almost sure that there would be no water seepage from the top layer of each sample through the top layer going into the bottom layer or into the wood in the case of a single ply. It looks like for about a week now, 1 week actually, there has not been any indication that any of these samples or any of these products would if there was a puddle forming on a roof with any of these products, it doesn't look like any water would be more likely to go through any of these to the substrate below or even to the second ply underneath the first ply. So, which is a good thing for everybody. You know, you can't see any water there. I just filled it up, like I said. There's no water underneath there. I have good lighting today. That you know about as far as the water seepage. But even in the case of the Polystick TU Plus, you know, there is water on the basically on the top surface of the top membrane. So it's just that it'll, if you use that product, I guess, on a roof, it'll just be wet longer than maybe any of these other products, I would assume. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll give you an update in another few days, at which point I would probably, after being very satisfied with the fact that there is no water seepage going vertically down from the puddle down, I'll go into my 2nd phase of the experiment, which is tapping the nail up a little bit. Let me get a better picture. From the bottom, I will tap the nail up so that the head of the nail is a little bit above the membrane, and see if the water puddle, if the water in the puddle will seep through the hole made by the underlayment nail. So that'll be a really worst case scenario, and we could see if there is any water seepage going through the underlayment, the thickness of the underlayment down into the wood. I want to see what happens with that. Okay, thank you. Bye.